So we had to get one last camp in for 2022. During the Thanksgiving, Black Friday promotion period, the state offered a deal that if you reserved a site in and made it to 2022, you got a discount. We looked at what we had left. So let's head to Lake Wateree. So this video is about our visit to Lake Wateree just before New Year's Day of 2023. Hope you enjoy. So we're down to just a handful of parks that we haven't visited yet. When we saw the promotion that the state offered for discounts if you can get a trip in 2022, first thing we did was we pulled the calendar.
Yeah.
And we had...
Christmas break's been a little tight.
Yes. We had a few days that were unclaimed. So we decided that we would then take a look at what parks were left. We had a couple days. And we said, all right, of the parks, which ones do we want to go to? Let's see what's available. And Lake Wateree happened to have some sites available a couple of days before New Year's Eve. And
we are so glad we did. First,
Yes.
Let me say, if you're not taking advantage of whatever offers the state park system is offering you for Black Friday, you're missing out. Because not only, first of all, camping in the state parks is one of the most affordable things you can do with your family. But second, they offer some really great deals.
They did. And I can't remember, it was either 20 or 25% off if you were able to.
And some years they do gift card
Right.
extras, and there's all kinds of stuff.
Didn't know a whole lot about Lake Wateree. There's not a whole lot of people that talk a lot about Lake Wateree. And frankly, I don't know why. Lake Wateree was a great park. It is remote. It was surprisingly remote for being an hour and a half away from our house.
And then once you got there, I don't remember what we forgot. Like graham crackers.
Yeah, graham crackers for s'mores.
And coffee. We forgot coffee. Yeah. That was our thing. And Jonathan mapped out, he goes, we're 10 miles away from a Dollar General or a grocery store or a gas station or a...
So I always...
Just rare.
From where we live... east of Columbia in Sumter, Lake Wateree is, I kind of connect it to Camden because a lot of folks from here especially go up there and launch their boats on the south end of the lake near Camden. Well, Lake Wateree State Park is about halfway up. It's actually just as close to Winnsboro as it is to Camden. So ironically, when I pulled up, I used my phone and Googled Dollar General near me, and there was one 10 miles back toward Camden and one 10 miles toward Winnsboro. So it is remote.
And if you look on the map, and we've got like an ornament with like the etching of the lake. It's like, in my mind, a lake is like a lake, and there might be some little funny shape, but this is like a long, skinny rectangle. So when we think about where people put in Camden, we're like around over here. And so, it's gorgeous. And I used to have friends that skied and stuff on it a lot. So it's long and skinny for that. We saw a lot of boats. I mean, not a ton.
Well,
but
it's the end of December. But the thing about the lake is it's in the hillier parts of the state. South Carolina has kind of from Columbia to the coast is fairly flat. So those lakes tend to be wide and shallow.
And that's what I pictured.
And then as you get more up into the upstate, you start to get into the hillier terrains, you get narrower lakes that follow more like the rivers, but they get deeper. Lake Wateree is kind of in between. While we were there, the lake was actually down, so it looked even smaller because they're doing work on the dam. They say that it's supposed to be finished in 2024. So if you're going in 2023, expect the water to be down. But
it made for a lot of beach.
Yes, it sure did.
It made for a lot of beach and a lot of beach combing and wandering and adventuring, and so kids really enjoyed actually, especially going in the colder weather. It was more fun for the kids for there to be all that beach,
just to run and play,
to be able to run and play and be silly. And our little serious junior rangers though did pick up
Three
bags of trash. Okay, I say that not to say that there was a lot of litter, because the actual park itself was beautiful, and the normal beach was very clean. This was beach, water's edge, that had not been out of water in, looking at some of the labels,
20 years,
30 years. Some of the things we picked up,
old glass bottles, the funny shaped big thick glass bottles,
the double insulated glass soda bottles, not the ones like the original Coke, but like a tab from the 80s. I mean, some of that stuff had been there a really long time, and we were able to take advantage of the fact that the water levels were down, so let's do our part. And
picked up a lot of fishing stuff that gotten blown out of boats.
It's broken bobbers and that kind of stuff. But an old rusted canteen that's probably been there from the 60s. I mean, there was some stuff because that had been so low that that had been there a really long time. And
so the park itself is fully paved with paved sites. Amazingly well
deep
kept
sites too.
Big deep sites. You could tell they made lots of room for you to be able to have a boat trailer there, and it was very accommodative to boats. There were lots of posts along the shore where you could bring your boat up, tie it off.
And they were like numbered too, so they went with your site. So even if your site was across, like you still got.
Yeah, it was just very well. We'll take a pause here. I'm gonna show our site, but also, because we were there in the winter and came in on a Thursday through Saturday, there were a lot of sites that were unoccupied, so I recorded a lot of them. So a little montage here of some of those sites. If you're not interested in that, you can skip forward and we'll talk a little bit more about what we did in the area. I'll show you around site 20 here at Lake Wateree. First I'll show you over here. The neighbors on this side. Nice little space, some trees, bathhouses over there in the distance. This is not full hookup, it's water and electric. 30 amp only, no 50 amp. It's a fairly level site. I think I only had to come up 1 inch. You see the neighbors on that side. Nice little raised timber flat space here for the picnic table. Fire pit. Plenty of room for the Blackstone setup. See, we added a gas-powered fire pit, a little more convenient. It's a couple days before the New Year, so it's during the week, so it's kind of emptied out, but I imagine they're going to be coming in tonight. There's the view of the lake. That's what it's all about. Lake Wateree. Oh no, this is a pretty nice site. Since we have the opportunity, since they're not here, not occupied, I'll show you some of the other sites. Here's site 17. Come straight back toward the lake. Again, elevated, flat picnic area with fire pit. Now, probably not great access directly to the water. There's a bit of a drop off right there. I don't know how well this is going to show up on the camera, but that's a big drop off. But the view is fantastic. Here's site 18. That also has the raised timbers. Site 16, however, does not. Looks like it slopes off there. And is a little more, I don't know how well you can see it. Looks like it goes off to the driver's side slope. Here's site 15. On the water, again raised, timbered. Let's walk out here and see what kind of water access they have. Looks like, again, pretty sharp drop off. The water is low right now because they're working on the dam. Here's site 14 and then 12. Also do not have the timbers, so they're curved down a little bit more. I will say, he did a nice job of keeping the leaves off of the sights. Site 13 in water view. A little bit shorter than a couple of the other ones on this side. Looks like over here, still that same drop off. But if you come over here, go off the back, it looks like it kind of slopes down. A lot better access to the water. I really don't want to get into these people's site too much, but site 11 looks like it's got great access to the water. These folks are, it's occupied, so I'm going to kind of keep my distance, but great view. Notice these poles, they're all along the shore where you can tie your boat off, like that skiff is. A couple more of the site 8 and site 6. These are not quite as elevated, so nice little flat table spots. We'll come across over here. This is number 9. Elevated timbers. Again, view of the lake. Looks like they got decent water access. Yeah, a little bit of a drop off up there. Let's see what you have to do to get to the water. Here's site 4. Pretty much standard, very much like the others. Site 3. Kind of come around and see their view of the water. They got nice open space back there behind them. But they are kind of close to this neighbor here. So one of the things that I've been asked about in these videos is bathhouses. So real quick now I'm going to show a quick walk around the bathhouse. Before I went in, I checked to make sure no one was in there. So I'll highlight this one. There's nobody in here. I've already checked. Pretty nice. Looks like the tile work's been redone lately. Modern finishes. Heated and air conditioned. So, yeah, looks pretty good. It's clean. The camp host was fabulous.
He was Johnny on the spot.
As we were pulling out, he was ready to come in and check our site. He kept the sites, as you could tell from the video of the sites, he kept them free of leaves and debris. He was right there to clean up all the fire pits. Now I will say,
and they were all tipped up, yep. And I mean really cleaned up.
Now, I got to give a quick plug. As you saw in our walk around of our video of our site, I did get a Christmas present this year of a gas powered fire pit. It was
pretty sweet, I will say.
So I'm gonna put a link in the description down below so you can see it if you're interested in one yourself. Very convenient. Had a lid that snaps on
and it cooled covers. Like when I got up Saturday morning, it was going when I went to bed at 10:30, and probably after that.
Yeah.
But Sunday morning, when I walked out, he had already packed it all up. Like it had cooled that quickly.
So it has a lid that snapped down over it. You put a strap around it.
That comes with it.
And so you just pick it up and put it right back in the back of your truck or your Tahoe, and fantastic, very convenient. Love that thing.
And especially for like the winter time when you want more fire, or even just really any of the summer, because like the kids are always wanting, like they're anxious for the fire to get built. They're anxious for the fire to get built, and sometimes in the summertime it's like it's 150 degrees.
Yeah, so you just turn it down low.
But to be able to just turn it on and turn it off, like you don't necessarily need the fire for a couple hours at night. Or like we always feel like because we paid for the firewood, you wait till it gets dark And so in the middle of the summer, you're building a fire at like 9 o'clock, and you're giving your kid a s'more at 9 o'clock when they really should be headed to bed. Where this, you could just turn it on at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. That's
and let them roast a marshmallow. Like, there were lots, like, after we were sitting around the other night, I was like, there's a lot of really pluses to this. Like,
yes. Plus, the camp host didn't have much to clean up afterwards. No. So, very nice. So, we mentioned how remote this place was, and we mentioned that we forgot coffee and didn't have enough graham crackers.
We had 3 bags of marshmallows.
So we asked,
like 4 graham crackers.
We asked the ranger at the store, the little bait shop there, where he recommended. He said, there is the Longtown corner market that has most of what you need. So we're like, okay, I remember seeing the place when he came in. Been there since 1920 something. Neat little store. It's probably the closest thing you're going to find besides the camp store at the campground.
Which was pretty well stocked.
Yes, the lady was super nice. They also had barbecue sandwiches and hot dogs and stuff. So,
and we were there past the time that was being served, but it smelled so good that it kind of made me kind of sad that we were behind.
So if you're looking for a little local flavor, local color, it looked like there was also a restaurant next door. It was not open. It's open in the evenings from 6 to 11. Probably pretty good.
Fish?
It looked like it was a
fish house,
like a little fish house, I think.
She was so nice though. I mean, the minute we walked in the order, she was like, "How can we help you?" And let's find your thing. And we got us some Folgers coffee that smelled so good. The next morning, I was very thankful.
Yes. So shout out to them. So let's talk a little bit about the other campground, the new campground. They just opened it, I believe, the summer of 2020, or maybe the fall of 2020. The Taylor Creek campground now.
Now it's 100% paved, 100% concrete area.
And all full hookups and 50 amps. So it is a modern campground, not like a lot of your state park campgrounds.
And a modern in all respects, I would say.
Yes. So it's important to understand what they had to do in order to build that in a modern way. The sites are closer. There are no trees because they had to level everything out in order to put in all the sewage lines, to run the water lines, the electrical. It's different. It is a different vibe.
And just know that going in.
Right.
Everything we do, we always say, like, if we're going to this campground's about lakes, or this campground's about that, you kind of have to like, okay, this is what there is to do, and this is what it's going to look like. So if the sewer's important to you, or you're staying for 2 weeks,
right,
check it out.
It's all about the compromises you have to make. Yes, you get the full hookups, you get the 50 amps, but you're also in the blazing sun in August, so you're going to need both air conditioners to run in your camper if you've got that. It's about trade-offs now.
But there were so many on our site. There were so many trees that we were like, gosh, if it was summer, we would have had the hammock and the monkey line and all the things.
Right.
And the kids are just, they enjoy. That's what they're used to. That's more like state park camping.
Right.
And so, like, when we drove around the other one, Claire was like, I don't want to stay here. I'm like, well, we're not. and it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. No, it's just a different vibe and a different atmosphere. The view. I feel like the views are better from our side.
Now, one caveat to the views thing.
Well, our site was
because the water was down over where Taylor Creek is, you almost had no water view. That I think you probably would have a little more water.
That's true.
Because there's one cove that really was,
but it was real low.
There really wasn't water there, and that.
So there probably is water. That's probably not very fair.
Yeah,
for me to say.
Yeah, it's just hard to tell. Now it's not going to be very deep. So if you have a boat that has a real deep draw to it, you might not be able to pull up over there like you can over on the old side. But again, it's compromises. It's a matter of what it is that you like,
what you want, and what you need on your side.
So while we prefer the older. The Taylor Creek is also a great campground. Amazing looking bathhouse. The bathhouse looks stunning.
Wow, it is pretty phenomenal. We didn't stop and go in that one, but it's pretty phenomenal looking from the outside.
So, all in all, the park in general, definitely one we're going to be going back to.
Yeah, I would. That's in my top.
Yeah, we're going to be trying to find.
I was going to say 10, but that's hard to say. 15 maybe, but still, we're going to try to find a summertime to go.
Yeah, we'll see if we can steal away.
Check that one out. Over at the park store, there was like a boat where you could put your boat in, and there was parking, like the long parking for the boats and or trucks and trailers. Like we said before, almost all the sites were very deep. Now, in going about views, the first side of the loop probably all had pretty good views, but then once you got to that backside, the view wasn't really that important. It's more about the trees and shade, if that's what appealed to you. But there was like golf cart parking right, and there were several places. There were staircases down to the beach. Now, because of the water levels, there were some places where that was kind of a dip. Like the other one, the steeper one, I don't think you went down. Like it was there could have been another step there, just because of how things are right now. But there were lots of people fishing and walking, but then over the store there was like a place, the gas. Like
you could buy gas for your boat there. There's ramp. I think there was 4 or 5 slips. I didn't ask about if you could keep your boat there overnight in a slip.
It didn't look like that kind of slip.
I don't think it really was. I think it's just for people to be able to get their boat in and out.
But if you're just on Lake Wateree, that would be a good place to get gas and check out.
There's posts all along the shore, so you can always. I'm not a big fan of beaching a boat because I've had boats stuck when the water levels drop overnight. What I would be a fan of is tying off to one of those posts and then putting an anchor in the back so that you're in a foot of water, and your boat's not up against the rocks and the gravel.
It is rock. Like so I was telling the kids, like I think that's what I prefer when we're swimming in a lake, is to have that rocks instead of a mushy bottom. Yeah. That's always preferable. So I was like, when the water levels are up, or as you wade out, like it's still that like rock and not the soft like round rock instead of like just that mushy mud.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I swim in my shoes.
Definitely a great park, and one we're going to try and get back to once the water levels get up. We can get back one summer.
Check it out. Yeah. We enjoyed that one. That one. It was a peaceful trip.
I tell people all the time, South Carolina is a fantastic place to get outside. Even at the end of December, 1st of January, we're going to try and go every month this winter. Get out and enjoy it. Lake Wateree needs to be one of them that you stop by and visit.
Check it out.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.